What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another update on the Fishroom. So this week is going to be mainly focused on the battery install that we're going to be doing sometime in a couple days here. So I need to prep this side for that battery install. So you know, guys are going to come out here and they're going to install the battery on this wall here. So I need to remove the outlet and also clean up a bunch of this so that they have room to get in here, install the battery, mount it or whatever, and then we can kind of put everything back. But the plan is to eventually, once that's installed, working and all that stuff, we'll move some of the racks over here and possibly get another row of fish tanks kind of going to kind of breed out some stuff and kind of hold some things that I have already. And kind of move, like for example, like this tank over there, so that way it's not in the middle of like this area here. But yeah, so the plan is to move a bunch of this out of the way, giving the install team or the install guys room to do the install. Also, because the battery is getting installed, we're going to be losing power for basically all day. So from 9 to whenever they're done, which could take 4 hours, 5 hours, however long that may take. We need to figure out how to, power some of these fish tanks until then. So I bought a couple of these air pumps. I have about 4 of them that I'm going to basically rotate through each of these tanks, once every, 30 minutes or something like that. And just kind of run it until the guys that are installing it come. So what's great about this company I'm working with is they have their own generator. So they're going to bring their own generator. And I'm going to be able to hook up some of these lines to the generator, the fish tanks or whatever, and I'll have those running through the generator and they'll be fine. But until they come, it might be 30 minutes to an hour. I'll run it off of this until then, which is fine. So it runs off of 2 D cell batteries and it can go up to 44 hours. And, these aren't like the strongest pumps, but it's, as long as it moves some water, I think they'll be fine for the fish. Alrighty, I have this wall here all cleaned up. I removed the power strip so that they can put the battery up in there whenever. And then I cleaned all down here so that they have some room to kind of move in and out to install the battery. So this should be good for next week. So we'll wait until they come to do the install to kind of pick up and see what we need to do from there. Alright, so we did lose power. The guys came in to shut off power, ran this cord here to my pump, and it's kind of split here, fan for the baby. We got the extension to run the pump for that guy, and this is the other pump to run the sump down here. And the cable goes all the way here. We have a split. This runs the centralized pump here, so everything in the fish room is powered by just this one pump. Thank God I actually made that conversion a couple of years ago. Generator out there running that they had supplied for us, which is awesome. So that's good. Alright, so this is after day 1 of them installing it. They still need to do some wiring, but they have it mounted on here. The clearance, here we go. Everything looks pretty nice. So it's not on or anything yet. They still need to come back, like I said, tomorrow, finish mounting everything. So they moved some stuff around, but they got the Tesla gate on here. So yeah, I'm just excited that we finally are able to have a backup battery for the house, for the fish room, and not have to worry about power outages that we have randomly throughout the year. And so yeah, that's just a plus for me. And it looks like they had clearance here enough where I can remount the power strip that I had up here. So I'll probably put that up there once everything's done on their side and installed. Looks like we have room there to kind of feed that across over there. So I'm not too worried, which is awesome. So we'll put that back later when everything is done on their side. Check that out. So today's the next day. This is after allowing the battery to charge. It was like at I think 5 or 10% when it first arrived. Fully charged it yesterday, and then was able to use a little bit of it last night just to see how it works. Again, I'm going to be mainly using this battery as a backup for when the house kind of goes down, we lose, the grid randomly. So most likely I'm going to set the usage of this battery to around like 80-85%. That way allowing, a majority of it to capture when a random blackout occurs. So like during storms and stuff, obviously Tesla has a storm watch part in their app where you can kind of charge, pre-charge the battery to kind of prep for those. And those are kind of like, you can kind of predict those, but there's a lot of random blackouts that occur in where I live from time to time. And those aren't predictable in terms of like weather. It has nothing to do with weather. It just like randomly just boop, gone, right? So I still want to have juice in the battery to be able to account for a lot of those random occurrences. So that's why I'm not going to be using the battery where, you drain it all the way down to, 50%, 30% or whatever, and then charge it back up during the daytime. Because my electricity is a fixed rate. It's not like where it's variable during like peak hours or whatever. It's just a standard, like this is how much it costs to use throughout the day, whatever it is, right? It's because the company I'm using that I'm buying the electricity from also is 100% renewable energy. So no matter if I'm pulling from the grid or solar, it's always 100% renewable energy. And so therefore they can just sell it at a fixed rate versus like at a variable rate, if it's not renewable energy. Hopefully you can kind of see this. There is an LED on here that's showing that it's getting charged. I'll show you guys the app in a little bit here too in terms of how it works. But there's like a little LED here showing that it's charging, and what's great about this is it's only one button. So this is just the on off. So if you need to ever reset it, or this kind of gets not working where it retries multiple times where the battery's drained, you just flip this switch on and off, and it's really simple to use. It's connected to Wi-Fi, and like I said, the profile is very it's not bad. Let me grab a tape measure. Alright, so I don't have the tape measure, but I have one of these here, so it's the same thing. So from the wall to the battery, it is about 8.5 inches out here. So very slim profile in terms of hanging it to the wall. Also, I did ask the installers to kind of keep in mind that maybe in the future, if I do plan on getting a second one for whatever reason, if I needed it or whatever, there's plenty of room or whatever to the side. So right next to it, like, it's perfect. There's like another section here. So what they said was they can do it as long as you have 6 inches here, so that they can do some connections, and then you can lay out the next battery across here. So yeah, so if I ever needed a second one to really, say, hey, I have 24 plus hours of guaranteed coverage running the house at 100%. So quickly I want to show you guys the Tesla app in terms of how the energy is flowed. So this is kind of like in the afternoon right now, where solar's pretty much peaking in terms of power produced. And you can kind of see here that the solar panels on top of this model house, and you can kind of see the flow of the energy there. So the green like little beams of light there is the direction where the electricity is going. So from the solar panel, it's going down to the middle thing, which is the Tesla gateway. And it has a choice of going down, which is to the grid, to the right, which is where our home is to power the home, or to the left, which is the battery. So right now the battery is 100% charged, so no additional energy is going there. And then most of it is going to the home, which is almost running at 5 kilowatts. And the rest is going to the grid. So with the AC on, it takes about 3 kilowatt. The fish room is like under 1 kilowatt, and then when you have all the lights come on, like, and then when it's kind of peaking, where like all these lights are starting to hit like 100% in terms of their settings, it's about another 1 kilowatt. So the fish room itself takes about 2 kilowatts to run with the lights. So without the lights, it's only like under 1 kilowatt. So if anything were to happen when, during the outage, obviously I won't be running the lights on, to conserve energy. So you're looking about like 1 kilowatt. The battery itself has a capacity of 13 kilowatt. So if I'm just running strictly just, the fish room to try to power the fish room, that's 13 hours of continuous like backup from the battery. So like I said, it's like about half a day. So that's great. But obviously, the house has other priorities, with us in it and stuff like that. So most likely we'll be spending anywhere from like 2 to 3 kilowatt. A little bit more if we decide to leave the AC or heat on longer than normal. But yeah, so I would say about like 3 to 4 hours of backup, off of one battery. That's not bad. So a couple other cool things about the Tesla battery is it has a storm watch where it's connected to the weather, and it forecasts. It's like, hey, we might have a thunderstorm, let's say tomorrow or in like 2 days. It'll make sure the battery's charged ahead of time to 100%, just in case you have an outage. So that's pretty cool. It has other features such as setting up the reserve. So if you want to make sure your reserve is at always 100%, you can move this toggle bar here back and forth to figure out how much you want to do. This comes really in handy when you have kind of a peak hour usage where like it's on time base, where like let's say like everybody's coming home from work or whatever around like 5, 6, 7 p.m. is like peak hours, and that's normally when electricity is the most expensive. You can kind of set how much you want to reserve or tap into the battery. And then it's time based down here. But like I said, my electricity is just kind of fixed rate because it's renewable energy plan. So yeah, so it's doesn't matter what time of the day it is. It's the same cost for me when I pay. So again, like I want to use this battery as mainly as a backup, straight backup for like when we lose power. So I'm keeping it at 85% right now. So 15% when kind of like the sun goes down, it'll use 15% of the battery, and then like during daytime, I'll charge that 15% up. It's not much. I mean, I could set this lower. I got this battery specifically for backup, just in case if something happens, and that's what I'm doing here. So right now I'm just super happy that we have some sort of backup plan or some sort of backup in place for the fish room, just because we've gone through multiple blackouts where we've lost power for extensive amount of time, and I'm just worried about a lot of the livestock, a lot of the fish and stuff like that we have outside and inside. But now that we have this battery, we have the solar panels, I can say that I can sleep a little bit more peacefully at night. And also I'm not sure that there's any other YouTuber that's in the hobby that can really say that they're running their whole fish room 100% with renewable energy. So if there's anyone out there that's also doing the same thing, props to them. But yeah, I'm just super happy that I'm able to do that. So like not only is the fish room 100%, the whole house is as well. So this is awesome. And it's something I've been trying to strive for years, and gotten the opportunity this year to pull the trigger. So yeah, I'm happy to say that fish room is running 100% renewable energy, and we have backup, which is awesome. So but yeah, so I need to start doing some water changes today. I'm not going to bored you guys with those water changes. You can definitely check out my previous videos. I've done like a little mini clips of just kind of what I do with water changes. But yeah, this whole fish room needs to do a water change today, so I'm gonna do that. If you guys aren't subscribed yet, make sure you guys are subscribed, and like always, till next time guys, peace.